Today we're going to take a look at Photoshop's Content-Aware Fill tool. This tool works almost like magic to remove unwanted items from photos. Let's jump into Photoshop and open up the photo of the boat in the ocean. Now let's say we just want to use this ocean as a background for a different image, without the boat. This is a scenario where the Content-Aware Fill tool is very useful. First, I'm going to use the Polygonal Lasso tool to draw a selection around the boat. You could use the regular Lasso tool if you prefer. Either will work. Just make sure that your selection includes the boat and its shadow. Next, I'm going to go to the Edit menu and select Content-Aware Fill. This will bring up the Content-Aware Fill window, which has two side-by-side images. The left side shows the selection that I am removing. It also shows in green the parts of the photo that will be used to inform Photoshop of which elements to use when filling in the section. The right side shows the resulting image. This is a process-intensive procedure, so it often takes time for the right side to refresh after making a change on the left side. The tools on the upper left-hand toolbar include the Sampling Brush tool, which can be used to add or remove to the highlighted green area, and the Lasso tool, which can be used to add or remove to the selection which will be removed from your image. I'm going to go ahead and use the Sampling Brush tool to add to the green area. This will let Photoshop know that all of this water can be used to fill in the spot where the boat was. Now we should double check the Output to location. It is currently set to Current Layer. That means it will make a permanent change to the original layer. Another option is New Layer. New Layer will create a new layer that contains only the content for the filled-in area, but not the surrounding image. It does not make any changes to the original layer. The last option, which is the one I'll be using, is Duplicate Layer. This will create a duplicate of the original layer, but with our filled-in section. Let's click OK to apply our changes and go back to our canvas. Here we can see our duplicate layer, which no longer has a boat. We can go to Select, Deselect to get rid of our old selection so that we can see it more clearly. If we turn off our new top layer, we can see that the original layer has not been altered and still has the boat. Great! Now that we've got the hang of this, let's try it on another photo. Open up the photo of the forest. For this photo, we are going to use the exact same process to remove the person. Grab your Lasso tool and make a selection around the person. Once you have your selection, we'll go to Edit, Content-Aware Fill. You can see that for this photo, the green highlighted area is much smaller because Photoshop has figured out that it can't use the trees to fill in the ground. It still looks pretty good though for having such a small area to work with. I'm going to grab the sampling brush and make sure it's set to Add, and then add a little bit more of the ground to the green area. And now we'll make sure we are outputting to a duplicate layer and select OK. Here we have our new layer, which no longer has a person in the forest. For our last example, we are going to use the Content-Aware Fill to remove a bird from a photo. Go ahead and open up this photo by Brian McGowan. I'm going to zoom in and then use the standard Lasso tool to select the bird. I missed a couple of spots on my selection, so I'm going to make sure my Lasso tool is set to Add, and then add the bits that I missed. Now I'm ready to go to Edit, Content-Aware Fill. This result doesn't look terrible, but I do think it has too much white in it, probably because it is sampling from the white structure rather than only the sky. I'm going to use the sampling brush to add sky to the sample, and then I'll also remove the structure from the sample. It doesn't make a huge difference for this photo, but it looks a little more natural now. Let's accept the changes by selecting OK. And now we have our two layers, the original layer with the bird and our new layer with the bird removed. Now you know how to use the powerful Content Aware Fill tool within Photoshop. We'll be using this tool again in upcoming projects.